What's up, guys? Yeah, I'm doing this video in response to Mainman Mademan's video entitled Errol Spence Jr., VADA, CBP, PEDs, Answers, and Vindication. Alright, now let me be clear. I like Mainman Mademan. This is not some angry retaliation video, not to tear him down, nothing like that. I like the guy. I'm subscribed to his channel, have been for a long time. He was one of the guys, one of the few on here supporting Kell Brook in lead up to the Errol Spence fight. So we were on the same team, brothers, all that. So, nothing but respect for the guy. He gave me a shout out in this video, which I appreciate. And I will put a link to this video in the comment section if you have not seen it and you want to watch for yourself. I could have done a response in this comment section, but it's a lot to say, and I really didn't feel like doing all the typing, so I figured it would be best to respond this way so everybody could see, chime in, we could have the friendly back and forth, etc. All right. Now, Mainman in this video said that he feels that it was the WBC's fault for Errol Spence having this suspicion on him about possibly being a cheater because he didn't enroll in the clean boxing program. Also, he said that he's given Errol Spence the benefit of the doubt, feeling that he is not a cheater. Given the benefit of the doubt. Okay. Now, he said that he went through saying how, the WBC started the program, guys weren't enrolling, guys were getting dropped. Of course, Errol Spence followed in a bundle in August 2016, and he had became a mandatory for the IBF. And in December, the WBC had a meeting, and they ranked Errol Spence number 3. And they also ranked Tim Bradley, and they ordered a fight eliminated between Bradley and Spence. And Mainman basically, was saying that, Errol Spence wanted to go the IBF route, let the WBC know that he wanted to go that route, and he didn't enroll, he got dropped, and now his name is on these lists. It's known that he did not enroll, and it makes him look bad. All right. Now, I have always said, and always will say, that I want boxing to be like the UFC when it comes to drug testing. I want all the best guys in the world in boxing, all sanctioning bodies, all weight classes. I want the best guys enrolled in random blood and urine testing, some form. It can be the clean boxing program with WBC, and I say there's a lot because it's free. Anybody can enroll, anybody can print out the paperwork, submit it. Doesn't cost you a dime, and you are subjected to random year-round testing, whether you are ranked or not. All right. There's that form of testing. You can be ranked or champ in the WBA. You will be subjected to random blood and urine testing through the fair boxing program. It was top 5. Now it's champions in top 15, just like the WBC. The IBF does not have a program. The WBO does not have a program. All right. So if you are top 15 or champ in either of those sanctioning bodies, you need to enroll in the clean boxing program to fulfill what I want, what should be done in boxing. All the best guys enroll in some form of random year-round drug testing. That way there won't be fights like the Brooks Spence fight, like Ward Kovalev 2, where one guy is subjected, the other guy is not. And then the guy who is not, has a competitive advantage because no one will come test him between fights, whether he cheats or not. It's still a competitive advantage because he has no worries, no issues if he wants to cheat. He has no worries about somebody coming up to test him. That gives him time to do whatever he wants, cycle off, and then pass testing leading up to the fight, whether it be commission test or VADA test. All right, because he would have plenty of time to let it clear his system and pass those tests. As we know, as I've said before, guys cheat between fights, not in lead up to fights. Victor Conte said it himself, and as I pointed out, USADA does most of their testing out of competition, not in competition, which is basically the testing leading up to fights. Because guys know that those tests are coming during that time period. They don't know exactly when, but they will be tested during that time. They do not want to have a PED in their system during that time because they will fail. All right, and nobody fails because they will be stupid. All right. So yes, if you are WBO or IBF top 15 of champ, you need to enroll in the clean boxing program, or the IBF and the WBO need to institute programs. All right. Also, if you are in the UK, you are covered. You are taken care of because the British Boxing Board of Control has UK anti-doping, randomly blood and urine testing all of those guys. All of them. All the guys in the UK, they are subjected to random blood and urine testing. So that's why you will not hear me say, scream out that Billy Joe Saunders needs to enroll in the clean boxing program. Because even though he is WBO champion, he is subjected to random blood urine testing through UK anti-doping. All right? So that's 3 forms of testing that I know of. The clean boxing program that anybody can enroll in, the fair boxing program if you are one of the best in the WBA, or UK anti-doping if you are fighting in the UK. And people always mention Anthony Joshua. No, he does not have VADA clean boxing program role in his box rec, but he is a WBA champion. That means he is subjected through the fair boxing program. And being in the UK, he is subjected through UK anti-doping. So that's why you don't hear me scream Anthony Joshua's name. Now, if he was not doing either of those, then yes, I would say he needs to enroll in the clean boxing program. All right. Now back to Errol Spence. It is my feeling and my belief that even if Errol Spence, as he did, wanted to fight Kell Brook for the IBF title, he should have enrolled in the clean boxing program. Why not add a prestigious number 3 ranking to your list of career accomplishments, to your resume, to have that bragging right? Why not accept? He says he wants to be undisputed champion. He wants the green belt. If you want it, and it's mandated by them, it's their program, why would you not enroll? And even if he did not enroll at the time, he could still enroll. He could have enrolled after the Kell Brook fight. He could enroll today, yesterday, January 2018. He has had a year and a half to enroll in this program, and he is not. You do not have to be ranked. You do not have to be a WBC ranked fighter or WBC champion to be enrolled in their program. You can voluntarily enroll. You can. Whether you are a champion of another sanctioned body or the worst fighter in the world. You can submit paperwork, which is free, and you do not have to pay for the testing. You don't have to pay an enrollment fee. You don't have to pay a fee if VADA shows up to test you. You don't. It's the WBC's program. It's their program. They pay for it. They foot the bill. All right? Now, the fact of the matter is, Errol Spence did not do any random blood and urine testing, or hell, just blood and urine testing, period. He did not do any, well, let me say random, because I don't know if a state commission had blood or urine tested him leading up to a fight, so I cannot say any. But as far as random, he had not done any since 2015 when he fought Phil Greco. That was the only time in his career that he had done random blood and urine testing. USADA, as Derrick James went on the record, and Errol Spence talking, they screaming USADA. That was the only fight that he had blood and urine tested for randomly, was USADA, before he fought Kell Brook. All right, so he had a year and 9 months, as I said, between the LaGreco fight and the Brook fight. Or before he signed up for the Brook fight. Let me correct myself. All right. June 2015, after the Greco fight, all the way up until he did not test blood and urine for Kell Brook until April 2017. All right, so he had a year and 9 months, as I said, man. You know, no blood and urine testing. Now, if you're of the belief, and I have never said that Errol Spence is a cheater. I've never said that Errol Spence was doing steroids. I've never said those things. I've only said the facts about Errol Spence. That he didn't enroll in the clean boxing program. He's still not enrolled. He got dropped from the rankings. He was not stopping nobody as an amateur, but all of a sudden he can stop everybody, you know, without being randomly tested. He wants to fight guys who are enrolled while he's not. Nothing but facts. And of course, I exposed his USADA testing history. All right. Now, if you are of the belief that Errol Spence is cheating, all right, or if in fact he was cheating, again, not saying he was cheating, I'm saying if he was cheating, all right, he had a year and 9 month window to do whatever he wanted between fights without no worries of anybody coming to test him. This is what I want to eliminate in boxing, all right? So, he fought Leonard Bundu in August of 2016. Kell Brook fought Triple G in September of 2016. All right, just a few weeks after Spence had his fight. Now, Errol Spence knew that he would not be fighting Kell Brook until 2017. You know, that it would be a break before that fight. And especially with Kell Brook getting an injury in the fight and having surgery, that would delay the fight even further. All right. So he had not been subjected to any random blood and urine testing. All right. Since June, July, August. That would be a year and 2 months up to that point, I believe. Now, if Errol Spence started cheating after the Leonard Bundu fight, again, if he started cheating after the Leonard Bundu fight, all right, that was in August. All right. September would have been a month. October would have been a month. November would have been a month. December would have been a month. All right. This is around the midway, a little bit past the midway point of those months. All right. 4 months. According to Mainman Mademan and what he showed on his video, which I gave him credit for, the WBC ranked Errol Spence in December of 2016. All right. So he had a 4-month break up to that point. Okay. Once he got the ranking, and it was mandated for him to enroll, all right, if he had been doing something, all right, and he had enrolled and it was mandated for him to test soon after or when he enrolled, you know, if VADA would have come to test him immediately, if he had to test for a potential Tim Bradley fight or whatever, and he had been cheating during that time, it most likely could have and would have popped up on that test. All right. So if he was cheating, all right, and he did not enroll, that would have given him additional time to cycle off. Again, if he was cheating. Not saying he was cheating. Saying if he was cheating, all right? So that gave him additional time, if he was cheating, to cycle off, all right? So there would be January, February, March, all right? That was an additional 3 months. Additional 3 months. So that was a total of 7 months between the Bundu and Brook fight, with no random blood and urine testing whatsoever. 7 months, okay? Meanwhile, Kell Brook, who was enrolled in the clean boxing program as IBF champion, who was subjected to random blood and urine testing through UK anti-doping, he could have been tested by VADA or UK anti-doping at any time after the Golovkin fight up until the Errol Spence fight, up until he signed up for that fight. So that would have been September, that would have been October, November, December, January, February, March. That would have been 6 months where Kell Brook could have been tested and possibly was tested, who knows, by either VADA or UK anti-doping. 6 months. He could have been tested. Meanwhile, Errol Spence, because he did not enroll in the clean boxing program, he had 7 months where he had to worry about no testing at all. No testing at all. And if he had been doing something between the Brook fight up until he got enrolled before he got ranked by the WBC, if he had been doing something, there could have been a reason for him not to enroll in the clean boxing program, to accept his ranking and not test, because he went on the record saying that the WBC dropped me out. I talked to Al Heyman's guy Brad. He said I did not have to take the test because I was not enrolled. Well, he was enrolled. He was ranked because he was not ranked. He didn't have to take the test because he was not ranked. He was ranked. All right, that was a fact. The WBC ranked him, and he was dropped because he did not enroll. All right, those are the facts. All right, so he could have enrolled. Now, Mainman was saying that the WBC ordered the fight with Bradley and Spence, so he had to do it. He didn't have to do it. He could have enrolled in the program. He could have went to the WBC and said, "Look, I'm going to accept your ranking. I'm going to enroll in the program. I have nothing to hide. I'm a clean fighter, but I'm going to take this title fight. I have a guaranteed title shot. I'm going to take this title fight." Now, the WBC, they could have dropped him in the rankings. They could have removed him from the rankings. Who knows? But if Errol Spence had nothing to hide and was a clean fighter and advocate for clean fighting, he could have enrolled in the program, and he could have had that good standing with the WBC. There would be no issue about him not enrolling. I would not be here right now talking about him not being enrolled. His name would not have been on a January report saying that he was dropped from the rankings because he's not enrolled. His name would not have been in the 2018 statement from the WBC saying that he was dropped because he's not enrolled. That's all on Errol Spence. That's not WBC's fault. They gave the guy a prestigious number 3 ranking, in my opinion. If a sanctioned body ranks you, that's an honor, man, because they don't have to. And you may not be good enough to get ranked. And while guys were dropping out in the WBC, they said, "Hey, this guy's good. And we're gonna recognize that by giving him a number 3 ranking and putting him in position to fight for one of our titles." That was basically giving the guy an option. He had the option. He could have said, "Hey, okay, I'm gonna have to take this Bradley fight, or fight somebody to be number 1 with the WBC," or he could, as he did, go the IBF route, get that belt, but still he would have enrolled and accepted the WBC ranking instead of not accepting it, not enrolling, and getting dropped. He had one of 2 options. The option that he chose made himself look bad. The WBC did not say to Errol Spence or prevent him from enrolling. He had the opportunity to enroll. He did not, and that's on him. And random blood urine testing between fights, that's to catch guys who cheat. That's to prevent cheating. So it's not a bad thing that WBC ranked him or mandated for him to enroll in the program. Those are great things. That's great for the sport. To maintain a clean sport, and it's an honor to receive a ranking from a sanctioned body like that. I disagree with Mainman respectfully on that. He feels differently. I feel that that's a good thing, man. WBC should not be criticized for that. And let me say this: it would be one thing if Errol Spence enrolled in the clean boxing program, and then the IBF said, "Okay, well, since you're enrolled in the clean boxing program, you can no longer fight Kell Brook." That would be one thing. If that was the case, then I would say, "Hey, you should fight for the IBF title. Why enroll and lose a guaranteed title shot?" I would not say that. But he could have enrolled and still fought Kell Brook. He could have enrolled, not fought Bradley, and then fought Kell Brook. That's a fact. He could have enrolled, without fighting Tim Bradley, because anyone can voluntarily enroll in a clean boxing program. You can enroll without being ranked by the WBC. So he could have and he should have enrolled in that program. All the best guys in the world, in my opinion, should be enrolled in some form of random, year-round drug testing, blood and urine, between fights, signed up for a fight or not. That's to maintain a clean sport, man. And to have everybody on the up and up. Not having some guys doing it, other guys not, and then they have an advantage going into fights, whether they cheat or not. They have an advantage because if they want to, they can do something. All right? So yes, it is my feeling and belief that he should have enrolled. He should have accepted that ranking. That would have been a nice accolade to have on his resume, on his career, and he would be enrolled in the clean boxing program. And he would have established a good relationship with the WBC, even if he had not fought Tim Bradley, even if he had taken the Errol Spence fight. They could have dropped him out of the rankings or whatever, or dropped him down in the rankings. But at least nobody could say, "Hey, Errol Spence is not enrolled in drug testing." I would not be able to say that because he would have enrolled. Then I would say, you know what, Errol Spence, even though the WBC dropped him out, even though the WBC, even though he did not have the fight with Bradley, the guy still enrolled, proving that he was a clean fighter. Then that's what I would be saying now instead of what I'm saying now. All right. Now, let's go on. All right. Mainman said that the IBF has a relationship, or they use USADA. The IBF does not have a random blood and urine testing program at this point. And I Googled it to double check before doing this video. USADA does not have a relationship with the IBF. The IBF has not started their program yet. All right. He mentioned Derrick James. And what Derrick James said, saying that Errol Spence uses USADA, he pays for himself. Well, Mainman, I made a video a few days ago where I proved that Derrick James flat out lied, man. Errol Spence is not and cannot pay USADA to test him randomly blood and urine year round. And I also laid it out there. You can go to USADA.org yourself, look at it on their website. That Errol Spence has only used USADA for 3 of his fights. 3 of his fights. And one of them I'm not giving him credit for as like he's some big time advocate of clean fighting blood and urine, because Kell Brook mandated and dictated terms in that fight. So outside the Kell Brook fight, the only fights that he's used USADA for is the Philo Greco fight and the Lamont Peterson fight. Now, the Philo Greco fight, originally it was Roberto Garcia. That was the guy he was going to fight. And Roberto Garcia also tested for that fight, but he pulled out because he had problems making weight. He could not make weight. He was a big guy. He had to start fighting at middleweight. He was so big, And he had been on a 10-fight win streak. He was 37-3. He was a good fighter. It would have been the best test for Spence up to that point in his career. And he also had a history with drugs. Roberto Garcia did. So I can understand why there would have been some random blood urine testing for that fight. But the guy being good and because of a history of drugs in his life, whether it was recreational PEDs, whatever, I can understand why it would have been tested for that fight. All right. Again, as I said, Brook mandated and dictated terms for that fight. So I'm not giving Spence credit for, dictating or mandating testing for that fight. And the Lamont Peterson fight, where Peterson had a previous failure. So I can understand why they would want to make sure that fight was on the up and up. But those are the only 2 fights where he has done random blood and urine testing. Of course, he's not done it between fights because USADA will not do that, unless the IBF, for instance, had him ranked and he had to subject to random blood and urine testing that way. But Errol Spence cannot pay for USADA to test him, and they will only test him for for a fight. Now maybe he is paying them, yes, to test him leading up to a fight, but I want year-round testing, and that's not what he's doing. And he also has only done it for 2 fights outside of the Kell Brook fight. Only 2 fights in his career has he done that. All right. And again, not super effective testing because it would only test if he had been doing something leading up to the fight as opposed to what he could be doing between fights. All right. Now, the clean boxing program does not cost the fighters a dime. You go to that website, you print that form out, fill it out, turn that form in, man. It's only 4 pages to fill out. It's a simple form. No fee, no testing fee. It's the WBC program. Anybody can do it. Anybody, ranked, champ, unranked, whatever, wherever you are in the world. If you are a fighter, if you have a license, You can get in this program. All right. If you got a terrible record, you can get in this program and have VADA clean boxing program enrolled on your box rate. All right. Now the 2018 WBC report again. Um, that report was for the history of the clean boxing program. It was not saying that Errol Spence is not enrolled since being IBF champion. That report that WBC released were names of all the guys who were ranked and did not enroll since the program has been in existence. All right, and then they highlighted the guys who had been dropped but then later enrolled. You know, who did not enroll when they were supposed to, but then later on they did, and maybe they gave them the ranking back. I don't know, but they just showed that those guys did later on enroll. And of course, Errol Spence, it showed that he still had not enrolled. You know, even up to that point. All right. Mainman mentioned that Peterson dropped the WBA title. I'm gonna give T Street credit for this. T Street controversy. He said going into that fight that that the regular title could not be unified with another title. So that's why Peterson dropped that title. Because I also asked why Spence was not trying to get that belt. But according to what T Street said, you cannot unify the regular belt with another title. All right. Lamont Peterson was at a disadvantage going into that fight with Errol Spence because again, Errol Spence had not tested since May with the Kell Brook fight. He had June, July, August, September, October, November. That would have been the 6 month. All right, that was 6 months between the Brook fight and when he signed up for the Peterson fight. 6 months. Nobody coming to random blood and urine test Errol Spence. Meanwhile, Lamont Peterson, while he was WBA champion, he was subjected to random blood and urine testing because of the fair boxing program. He was subjected up until the point when he dropped that title, whenever that was. You know, not sure exactly when that was, but he had been subjected all that time as champion up until he vacated the belt. So again, Errol Spence had a window. Lamont Peterson did not. He did not. All right. Whether Spence cheated or not, fact is he had a window. Lamont Peterson did not. All right. And finally, Mainman Mademan said that he was giving Errol Spence the benefit of the doubt. For that he feels that he's not a cheater. That is basically the WBC's fault for making Errol Spence look bad, giving him a bad name. Again, it's my belief it's not WBC's fault. It is great that we have random blood urine testing in boxing with the WBC and WBA and UK anti-doping. And it is great and an honor if a sanctioning body ranks you. Now, he's giving Errol Spence the benefit of the doubt. And I did not give anybody the benefit of the doubt. I want testing. I want results. That's what I need, results. All right. Now, there are no failure results to say that Errol Spence is a cheater, because if he had failed, I would say that he cheated. All right. But he has not. So I have not said that he is cheating or is a cheater. I have not said that. All right. Let me be clear. I'm going to say that again. All right. I have not said the guy is cheating or is a cheater. But this is the fact. The guy got a ranking. He did not enroll. He got dropped. He did not enroll in the clean boxing program. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. My battery was getting low. All right, but the way I feel about it, if you are clean and have nothing to hide, you should have no problem enrolling in random blood and urine testing. You should be an advocate for it. If somebody wanted to random blood and urine test me, I would have no issue, man. No issue at all. If my employer required it or a potential employer required it, I would do it, man. No issue. No, I don't have to complain about anything. And the fact of the matter is, man, the guy did not enroll, still not enrolled, but yeah, he wants to fight guys who are enrolled, constantly calling these guys out. That's an advantage, man. That's a competitive advantage, and I'm screaming about it, man. You know, a lot of people in the mainstream, when I talk, nobody's talking about it in the mainstream. You know, but that, you know, this is, as I've said, man, this shit would not fly in the UFC, man. You know, if there was a guy on the rise who was not, not subject to USADA testing, but everybody else was, and he wants to fight all the best guys while he's not subject to being tested year round randomly, that wouldn't fly, man. And but in boxing, you know, we got one of the big guys, one of the more popular guys, uh, basically trying to get away with it, man. And I'm speaking out against it, man. You know, man wants to give Spence, the benefit of the doubt, but the fact is, man, he did not enroll, still is not enrolled. Over a year and a half later, man, still not enrolled in the program. And he and Derrick James have been busted lying about USADA, man. Derrick James talking about Errol Spence. He been testing USADA randomly year round since 2009. He paying for it for himself. He cannot pay USADA to test him, man. He cannot pay them to test him between fights year round randomly. USADA sent me a statement. And as we've seen from his USADA testing history, he only tested for 3 fights: LaGreco, Brook, and Peterson. That's it. And the guy is has been a pro for almost 6 years at this point. Only 3 fights, USADA testing. All right, and then Errol Spence said that he's been testing USADA his last few fights. He's tested USADA his last 4 or 5 fights. Again, Peterson, Brook did not test for Algieri, Bundu, or Barrera. Those are his last 5 fights. 3 out of the 5 he did not test for, and he is not testing USADA randomly with Ocampo. Plug their names in on the USADA site. And you will not see them being tested for this quarter. So I'm not giving the guy the benefit of the doubt, man. He lied. And Derrick James did. He been using USADA his last 4 or 5 fights. They asked him, these guys putting out videos talking about Errol Spence say he gonna enroll in a clean boxing program. That's not good enough. You can say you're gonna do something and not do it for a long time. I think, in my opinion, he's waiting until the absolute last moment to where he would have to do this, man. To where basically, if he can sign up for the fight, can get the WBC champion to unify with him, then he would do it. Enroll in the program if WBC mandated to him at that time. He wants to wait until the last minute, man. That's the way I'm seeing it. So, he talking about, somebody asked him about, he talking about, we gonna do something. I'm gonna do, we working on something. You don't have to work on nothing, man. You go to that website, you print that form out, fill it out, and submit it. That's all the work you gotta do. So, I'm not giving Errol Spence benefit of the doubt, man. Hell, everything is going against him in this regard, man. Not enrolling, in line. Him and Derrick James. So, I want to respond to Mainman. Again, this is not a bitter, angry response. Not tearing him down. I like the guy. I'm subscribed to the channel. Still subscribed. Gonna stay subscribed. But it was a lot I had to say in response, and I thought doing a video response would be best. So, I think that's it, guys. If I miss anything, I'll leave a comment in the comment section. And I will leave a link to his video in the comment section also. Again, you did a great job, on the video. I appreciate the research. Well done. Damn good. And of course, he has his opinion. You have your opinion. But, this is my opinion, and I just disagree, man. I'm not cutting the guy any slack. I'm not cutting anybody any slack who does not enroll to year-round random drug testing, man. They have to do it. They have to do it and not lie saying they're doing it elsewhere, and they're not doing it elsewhere. So, or for those who want to take that literally, not doing it to the extent that they say that they're doing it, So, that's it, guys. Let me know what you think, and I'll check in with you guys soon, man. Thanks for watching.